What are the best British sitcoms that started in the 1980s? The 1980s was a golden era for British TV, and it had some of the best sitcoms that Great Britain has ever produced. From Blackadder to Only Fools and Horses to The Young Ones. It's hard to choose the best when the list of classic 80s comedies is so long.
We're in the stickiest situation since Sticky the Stick Insect got stuck on a sticky bun.
This list will include all sitcoms that premiered and aired at least one series during this iconic decade, and their rankings are based on average user reviews on IMDB.com for a minimum of 1,000 votes. So see if your favourites made the list, and whether you think the comedy should be higher or lower in the rankings. Filthy Rich and Catflap was an off-the-rails sitcom that reunited Rick Mayall, Adrian Edmondson and Nigel Planer on screen 3 years after the conclusion of The Young Ones.
Right, now look, we've got to be really sensible, Eddie.
Yes, and have a quiet evening in.
And an early night.
Yes, above all, we've got to be up in time to get to the studio.
The three top comedians played the desperate showbiz star Richie Rich, his useless bodyguard/minder Edward Catflap, and Rich's seedy agent Ralph Filthy. New fans have discovered this 80s sitcom in recent years, but at the time it didn't live up to the hype built from the success of their previous venture, and unfortunately only a single series was made, after Rick fell out with writer Ben Elton because he wanted increased input in the sitcom script. Number 9 is Ever Decreasing Circles, and it follows Richard Bryce's obsessive and controlling character, Martin Bryce, who's all too often at odds with his handsome, charming ex-army officer neighbour, Paul, portrayed by Peter Egan, who is everything Martin isn't.
It's all right, Martin. I'm not going to pull your teeth out. Just relax.
Not only does Martin envy Paul and view him as a rival, but Paul and Martin's wife Anne, performed by Penelope Wilton, are known to casually flirt together, which Martin is usually oblivious to. This sitcom premiered in November 1984 with 4 series and then ended with a feature-length special. The late Richard Bryce once described Martin as his favourite sitcom character. Desmond was a Channel 4 sitcom that centred on the Ambrose family and a barbershop in Peckham, London, owned by the charismatic Jamaican immigrant Desmond Ambrose, played by Norman Beaton.
Desmond Ambrose. 57 boy, and still handsome.
Desmond is known for his authentic presentation of multicultural life in Britain and the challenges that families like the Ambroses face. But as well as the family, there's a long list of characters that frequent the shop, including regular pork pie, and the dynamic between them and the Ambroses fueled the show's success, with 6 series being made with 71 episodes total, making it one of the longest running British sitcoms by episode count, and more than another familiar sitcom also based in Peckham. The New Statesman was a political satire that began in the final years of Margaret Thatcher's government. It stars the electric Rick Mayall as the ruthless and unscrupulous Alan Bastard.
He is right to say that the poll tax will reduce the living standards of millions of ordinary people, although I prefer to use the word mediocre.
Bastard embodies the worst of politicians. He's a schemer, he's corrupt, and he will stop at nothing to climb the political ladder. And yet somehow he mostly avoids facing true consequences for his abhorrent actions. The series was a huge success and showed Rick Mayall's diverse range when compared to his previous louder, more outlandish characters. Which leads nicely to number 6 on the list, The Young Ones. It was a groundbreaking, surreal, anarchic comedy that propelled the cast, including Rick Mayall and Ade Edmondson, into the national limelight from its often violent slapstick humour.
Vivian, this is my bedroom! Oh, yeah? Yes! I was here first! You got any witnesses? Look, I don't need witnesses. Just get off my property! No!
It follows 4 opposing housemates, Rick, Vivian, Neil and Mike, who are forced to live in a squalid flat together while studying at London's fictional scumbag college. Unapologetically brash and extreme, it was an alternative sitcom for a rebellious younger generation that wanted a comedy that avoided the safe, broader appeal of many other shows at the time. Set in occupied France during the Second World War, Allo is a farcical sitcom that follows the misadventures of René Artois, a cafe owner portrayed by Gordon Kay. René is often caught between the antics of the French resistance and the Nazis.
We must get the painting back before Herr Flick can send it to the Führer.
And who is going to do that?
You are. And if you don't, I will have you shot.
The 9-series comedy had an ensemble of additional characters too, including René's wife Edith, Michelle Dubois, and Officer Crabtree. Allo satirizes wartime stereotypes and cliches with countless absurd situations and miscommunications, and is famous for a number of memorable catchphrases too.
Good morning. I have bad news.
Number 4 is a science fiction sitcom, Red Dwarf. This comedy is the only one on the list that hasn't yet officially ended, making it one of Britain's most enduring comedies. It began airing in 1988 and takes us on board the Red Dwarf spaceship flying millions of miles from Earth. After a radiation leak, most of the crew members die besides Kat, Rimmer the Hologram, and the last human alive, Dave Lister, played by Craig Charles.
Peterson isn't, is he?
Everybody is dead, Dave.
Not Chen.
Gordon Bennett, yes, Chen, everybody. Everybody's dead, Dave.
The sitcom follows the motley crew as they travel around space and encounter bizarre situations, including new alien life forms and unusual phenomena. There were 8 series in its initial run, but its dedicated fanbase successfully pushed for a revival in 2009 following a 10-year hiatus, and the last episode aired in 2020. Blackadder, starring a stellar cast including Rowan Atkinson, of 4 series with each set in different time periods, including the reign of Elizabeth I and the Great War. It is one of Britain's most watched sitcoms, and it was even celebrated in 2023 with 40th anniversary stamps. Although it began with a less than perfect first series, when Ben Elton joined Richard Curtis to write from series 2 onwards, it hit a whole new gear.
Believe me, eternity in the company of Beelzebub and all his hellish instruments of death will be a picnic compared to 5 minutes with me and this pencil.
The 4th series is the highest rated of all 4, but there are many fans who prefer the 2nd or 3rd series instead. Nevertheless, they're all quite different and have their own unique strengths. But one thing that stays consistent is Rowan's fabulous performance as the conniving and manipulative Edmund Blackadder, even as his character evolves from series to series. Yes Minister, including the sequel Yes Prime Minister, is the 2nd highest rated 1980s British sitcom. Starring Paul Eddington as Jim Hacker, the character is a minister who tries to navigate the bureaucracy and power struggles of government, alongside the smug civil servant Sir Humphrey Appleby, who often thwarts Hacker's plans.
It's very popular with the voters, Humphrey. Gives them a chance to help us find ways to stop wasting government money.
Public doesn't know anything about wasting government money. We're the experts.
Additionally, there's Hacker's personal secretary Bernard Willey, who acts as the minister's go-between to the civil service. The sitcom is known for its sharp, witty dialogue that offers astute observations of governance and the civil service. Despite the first series airing in 1980, much of its commentary on politics and democracy is still very much relevant today. The highest rated British sitcom for the 1980s is the one and only Fools and Horses. The John Sullivan written comedy ran through 3 decades, but it began in 1981, and it of course centers on the working class Trotter family, consisting of Del Boy, Rodney, Grandad, and later Uncle Albert. It is commonly touted as one of the best British sitcoms of all time, competing with the likes of 40 Towers for the top spot.
Think we're on a winner here, Trig. All right? Play it nice and cool, son. Nice and cool, you know what I mean?
David Jason and Nicholas Linter share one of the greatest on-screen chemistries, and when combined with the masterful writing and unbeatable ensemble of supporting characters including Trigger and Boise, Only Fools and Horses truly deserves the top spot on the list. Do you agree with the ranking of the top 10 best British sitcoms from the 1980s? What are your favourite sitcoms from this classic decade? Please share your thoughts in the comments section.
Here, look, that's better, isn't it? Look.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks a lot.
Also take a look at more of our videos on classic British sitcoms and stars on the channel. As ever, thanks for watching and cheerio!